The old intellectual verities that, you know, as the managing director was saying at the beginning of his speech, if you get enough growth, the jobs will come. It's not working anymore. We need to find some new ways forward. And another very important reason why we have to get to grips with it is because working people are hurting all over the world, and they need some credible answers from the policymakers as to how we're going to generate enough decent jobs for people to have decent lives. So I think policy dialogue is one of the reflections that I would draw from the three sets of remarks this morning. Secondly, coordination, and this is a favourite topic at the International Monetary Fund. I think the ILO also is working hard on it. And one thing to say is it's a lot easier said than done. The G20 technical experts are meeting this morning, and they're still struggling to get some very basic tools together to do the joint analysis that we need. But I don't want to speak this morning about the international policy coordination, which is a very big topic, but there's need for coordination within countries. And the G20 dialogue has tended to focus on questions that finance ministers deal with because the G20 was set up by finance ministers. It's generally driven by finance ministers still. And employment, as a result, is often treated as a residual. Exactly the problem that the managing director referred to. It's, you know, if we get everything right, it'll come along. And we need to escape from that. You know, the idea is that if you get the fiscal balances back in kilter, if you deal with the debt overhang, the jobs will come. But the reality is that the scale of unemployment that we're facing, the difficulty of getting it down, is itself a barrier to getting the fiscal balances in order, is itself a barrier to getting the debt overhang dealt with. We need to deal with employment side by side with the other issues of macroeconomic policy. And I think one of the conclusions from that, it may be a very obvious one, but it has to be stated. Employment is a macro policy issue. It's not something to be compartmentalized in a different place. But it isn't really at the macro table.